In the last video, we've already seen how Unity would interact with Python file in order to generate a car's movement at the intersection. In this video, I'm going to introduce how this actually works. So we're going to look into both Python codes and the Unity packages to see how it interacts. So in the Unity, we first look into the two packs, the vehicle pack and the road pack. We work with so Unity, this is how a road segment now is. We're going to every line is generated by this prefab. So apart from that, we can also look into how the resources, how the data are put into the resource folder. So we can see, let's check the files in the resource folder. So there's a file called lines, which include a list of lines, and each line is a little segment of the road. So basically for an interaction, you'll have one segment each way, each lane, and each way will have two segments. So it's about 8 to 9 segments per intersection. And now let's see how Unity reads this. It reads it through read.json.cs file, and it just loads that file, and we made it into a function. So whenever we call a lane generator, we generate the lane according to that information, which is located in the resource folder. And as soon as we read in that information, we can start to generate several lines. We call the drawLine function, which is defined here. It kind of reads in position, scale, and also make it into a child of its parent, which is called lines. So if we go back to that JSON file, we can see that the position information is updated here, and the scale information is updated here. So we can see that they're just linked to each other, and all the information is generated accordingly. Cool, so let's see how it works. If we go to the directory of the codes, and remember we're going to run two codes together. The first is to generate a server. So we launch the server, and then go back. We also run the position generator. And along with the position generator, I also set up the infrastructure, which is the position of all the lanes, so that it will update that JSON file. And you can see that these the intersection is made of 9 line segments. So these are all instantiated by the line. So now that we've seen how the lines works, now we can see how the car information are updated. So remember that we've posted all car information onto our server. So if we go to that in the browser, we can see the server included movement and position of every single moment. And when we are doing updating, we're actually assigning the movement and position to the rotation and position of a car. So we kind of transformed it into the information of a car object in the Unity. So let's try running this. As we are generating all the position information, the car is updating its information every single time moment. And you can see that it just updates itself information accordingly, including the rotation and the position. And if we go to the console, we can see how the information are actually read into Unity. So this is the information according to each little time step. And then in the end of the file, in the end of the running, it just keeps updating the same information.